Hello all my rock tumbling friends. You might recognize these. These are from an earlier video I did called Cutting a Variety of Agates and Playing the Stud or Dud Game. Well, what I'm going to do now with all of these is put them in a tumbler and get them polished. Hopefully these will all turn out to be studs. I have my doubts. I'll get them rolling in a 3-pound barrel, a little 60-90 grit, and I'll update this video once that step is finished. And then we will move on to polishing. The rocks are finally finished with the coarse stage. They're ready to move on to the polishing. I actually had to help a couple of these along. It was just taking too long to get them smooth, so I took a few of them over to the grinding wheel on the capping machine and took off a couple of the bad spots that I was trying to grind away naturally through the tumbler. So yes, I cheated a little bit. Anyway, let's get these started now in the vibratory tumbler for my 8-day 4-step polishing process. And then we'll take a look. Maybe these studs and duds will all be studs. We shall see. The stud or dud rocks are all finished with their polish. How do you like it? Look at this. I think they turned out pretty good. Let's look at some of these up close and compare them to what they look like during the game, and let's see if they're any better. Okay, our first rock is this Moctezuma agate at $55 a pound, and this was definitely a dud. I suppose this one's a little bit better. It's not much though, as you can see. I wasn't very happy with this one, and I think you can see why it was called a dud. Next up is this Inca agate at $30 a pound. This one was a close call, but it was a stud. Now this one turned out nice. Look at this. Beautiful purple. I like this one. What do you think? The next one is this Condor AA, which is the $140 a pound. Definitely a dud. I suppose it's improved somewhat, but it's nowhere near worth the price. However, it did tumble up nicely. Take a great shine, so there's that. Here we have the Malawi agate at $30 a pound, and this was a close stud. Here's all that's left of this little guy. Yeah, it's got some pretty chalcedony in there, but otherwise, not much of a tumble. Next, we have this chopstick agate at $12 a pound. This was definitely a stud. This broke down into 3 pieces altogether. I like it though. It's got some beautiful detail in it. Look at some of that. Isn't that pretty? You can see how this piece does have this big fracture that didn't break on this side, but that's where it broke on this side. And that's why I have these little bitty pieces. And here is the Condor high grade at $50 a pound. This was a close call, but it was a stud. This one tumbled away quite a bit and left us with just this little shiny chalcedony area with some banding. So not much of a tumble. It's pretty though in some ways. If you hit it, if you look at it just right. Yeah, it's got some beauty in there. Next is this Tesoro Escondido agate at $20 a pound, and this was easily a stud. Now this one turned out to be a nice tumble, I think. I like how this one turned out. Not perfect, but it's still nice. And it took a great shine, as you can see. So I'm happy with this one. Up next is this Condor mid-grade at $30 a pound. Again, easily a stud. I like the way this one turned out as well. I think it's interesting looking. Took a good shine. I like it. What do you think? And finally, the Condor low-grade agate at $10 a pound. Once again, very easily a stud. And here's our last one. Another decent tumble. I like this one a lot as well. Another great shine. We got some beautiful little banding in there. Tiny little quartz pocket right in the center. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed tumbling these and seeing what they would turn into and how shiny they would get. I think some of them turned out okay. We still have a few duds in there, but mostly I think we got studs out of this batch. Thanks again.